Today I'd like to talk to you about Google Forms. It is consistently one of the most flexible and useful tools for me in the classroom as well as for my students. And before I go through the basics of setting up a Google Form, I'd like to point out that in the description of this video, look below, there is a link to a Google Form that displays all of the question types as well as the other features that Google Forms offers in one sample Google Form. So if you want to see what a multiple choice looks like or a grid question versus a scale question, that's the place to go. All right, let's begin. To create a Google Form, you need to go to drive.google.com and log in. So you would need a Google Drive account or a Gmail account. Both are free and available to you or your students. And once you are logged into Google Drive, look to the upper left at the Create button and go down to Create Form. And a blank form will appear. A couple of items to share right from the beginning. It's always a good idea, of course, to title your form where it says Untitled Form. And you will notice at the top there are three options. Show Progress bar at the bottom of the form pages shows the progress that survey takers are completing if it is a multiple page form. Only allow one response per person allows just that, but the respondents must have a Google Drive or Gmail account in order to respond. Once they respond once, they are prevented from responding a second time. And in my testing, there is nowhere where that individual's ID is recorded that is visible to me as the survey or form owner. And shuffle question order puts them in a random order each time. Great for quizzes. All right, let's begin. It has taken the title that I applied above and applied it onto the form itself. You can certainly change that or keep it. Form description is the ideal place to provide any background or specific instructions to those who will be completing the form. And question title, this is our first question. Now, you have a place for the title, of course. If we want to capture their name, first and last, please, we can drop that in there. And question type. You will set this on each form question that you create. I'm going to go with text for this one. A short answer here. Now you'll notice there is an area called Advanced Settings that will be covered in a future tutorial. So let's just pause and move past that for now. Required question. Check the box. They cannot complete the form without completing that question. So your choice. And once you are done creating the individual question, you may click Done. Your form is ready to go. If you wish to add, of course, add item, and you can pick what else you would like to add to it. And again, as I mentioned in my intro, a link to a form that shows all of the different features and form question types is available in the description of this video. So, let's go for a multiple choice. Which do you prefer? And here we go. Cats, dogs. Now notice you have an option to add other. So now you can give your respondents the opportunity to add in whatever they want. Quick note here based on experience. Depending on your audience for a survey, providing a free form space also provides the opportunity for people to put in information that isn't relevant to your form or survey goal. So keep that in mind when you're putting in another. You may have to wade through a lot of data that is irrelevant or just not helpful towards your goals. All right, so done. We've got two questions going. Now, if you want to save a little time and you have a series of multiple choice questions, notice that you can duplicate that question and simply edit it on the fly like so. If you realize that you've made an error, editing is easy. I hover over an individual question, click on the pencil icon to edit, and I'd like to delete option 3. Click on the X and it's gone. If you would like to change the sequence of responses, notice this hash mark to the left of an individual response item. I can click and drag and simply relocate cake to the top of my list. Now, just as we put individual response possibilities in a different sequence, we can also rearrange entire questions. I'll hover over my cake ice cream question, click and drag up and drop, and now I have reoriented the sequence as well. So reordering is very straightforward, and of course if you decide that a question is not part of your form, click on the trash can and it is gone. Once you've reached the end of your form, you have a couple more options before you submit it. One is, what's the message that people receive when they've completed your form? Right now the default is your response has been recorded, but keep in mind you can change this to any message and you can include a URL in there. So if you want people to now visit this link, or if you would like them, now that you've completed this form, please click here for today's assignment. You have that option as well to build that in. 3 check marks below. One is defaulted currently. Show link to submit another response. That's certainly your choice if you want to encourage multiple responses by the same individual. Otherwise, uncheck that. Publish and show a public link to form results. I've used this in class when I have wanted students to collect data from the class and then immediately apply that data to the work that they are doing. Then you give public access to the form data. Now keep in mind, in doing that, you are also putting all of that data out there, so be very mindful as to what type of information you've collected. If you've collected anything that identifies the individual respondents to your form, I strongly recommend you do not publish and show the link to the form results. And lastly, allow responders to edit responses after submitting. Again, your choice depends on the purpose of the form. And once you've completed your form, there's a Send Form button, and we have choices as well. Very useful. It's possible to just grab the link and email it, or put it on your blog, put it in your website. If you want to go with a URL shortener, check the box, although be aware that some web filtering systems don't accommodate URL shortening, so you're probably safer going with the long version and copy paste. You can share it via 3 types of social media, and of course they've got Google Plus first. The embed tool gives you the option to embed it in an existing web page, so if you're comfortable with HTML, or if you are using some of the free web template based tools like Weebly or Wix, they may accommodate this, but you'll have to check there. And you can also distribute the form by email. So that's distribution. At the top, you're wondering what this looks like. Well, at the top there's a button, View Live Form. And we can complete our form, submit it. Thank you for completing the survey. Verify that our message is in place, returning to our existing form. There's also a button labeled View Responses. Now, one of the things I didn't tell you, but it's great with Google Forms, is that a Google spreadsheet is being built for you as you develop the form. And here we see our first record of response. And so you can see what information was gathered. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Subsequent tutorials around Google Forms will include some of the advanced features, managing data within the spreadsheet, as well as some of the specifics around building out questions. Any comments or questions, drop them in the comments window below, and have a great day.